What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. Sitting way across the city from me this week and every week, he's the sole survivor of the zombie apocalypse. It's Jeremy King.
Nice. Well, only one with a soul that survived. Do I have a soul?
No.
We don't know.
No, we do know.
And,
you don't.
Yeah. And sitting across the barren city, all the way in a tower on the opposite end is Brian Paul.
I'm part of the tower? That's ridiculous. And every week on Why We Love PlayStation VR, we dip into the PSVR archive. We pull out a game, at random, we dust the blow off it. We check into it, see if it's, you know what, none of this is relevant this week because we're going off track again, off mission, and we are covering one of the newest game on PlayStation VR, basically. And what game is that, Jeremy King?
The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners.
The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, developed and published by Skydance Interactive. You guys probably know them by their past game, Archangel. It was a fun little narrative-driven rail shooter. Released for way too much money. When it first came out, it came out for the same price as The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, which is craziness. Saints and Sinners released on May 5th, 2020 for $40 for the standard edition and $50 for the tourist edition. All it does is give you some voodoo dolls and recipes for 3 new weapons.
Nice.
Yeah.
Voodoo. Seems like a while we've had a game with this high of a price point.
It's been a while.
Feels like it. Yeah.
It's been a while since we've had a game like this at all.
Yeah.
So tell me about Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. Everybody's heard me talk about this game for like 2 weeks now. What kind of game is it?
It is a survival horror crafting type of a fetch story-driven adventure in a post-apocalyptic future.
Yeah, I mean that pretty much covers it. Should we rate this sucker?
Yeah, really.
Jeremy, are you a fan of like zombie games?
So yes, in the past, I used to be like Left 4 Dead 2, destroyed the shit out of them.
Okay.
Loved them. Even like The Walking Dead, the show, and 28 Days Later, all that jazz. Yes.
Yeah.
I kind of lost steam, I would say, for the show Walking Dead around season 4, a few episodes in is where I was kind of getting over the whole zombie thing. Cause at that point, the world was just all about zombies, kind of like how it's all about Corona now. Back then it was all about zombies, everything, everywhere, and it still kind of is.
Yeah.
So I've just drifted off from that style game, but this certainly rejuvenated the entire genre for me, gameplay wise.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'm obviously a huge horror fan. Zombies in general just kind of fall into that category. So I'm like, they come along for the ride. I'm down totally.
Mayo and mustards and all sorts of condiments. There's such a variety. There's also now such a variety of zombie. There's the slow moving dumb ones. There's the fast, aggressive ones. So there's like a whole different flavor to choose from of what zombie you want to encounter in a game or a movie nowadays.
Yeah, and we don't want to make any Walking Dead fans mad, so we shall refer to them as walkers.
Yes, that's true.
That's not true. I'm going to totally fuck it up, and I'm totally going to call them zombies or Freds or anything else that they've ever been called in any other game or movie, I'm sure. It takes place squarely in the Walking Dead universe. I'm with you. I think I fell off around maybe even earlier than you did. I think I fell off the TV series around season 3. I was a huge fan of the earlier comic books, the graphic novels, but I have not kept up with those. So the whole Walking Dead world, I'm glad that this sort of tells a new Walking Dead story because I would have been lost, I think, if they tried to throw us into the middle of season 7 or whatever the hell.
Yeah, whatever. It is a continuation of that core story. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So talk to me, man. The game starts up, and you're brand new. You're a visitor. You're a traveler. You're a tourist in Nolans, right? And and then you suddenly find out that your new home is a school bus.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, a couple workbenches outside.
Yeah,
in a graveyard, surrounded by swamp. I mean, it's a great place.
This kind of sounds like somewhere I'd want to live, to be honest with you.
Right?
Seems pretty cozy. Seems pretty safe. Only dead people.
I think
around.
A lot of we're always surrounded by barren, swampy areas in this VR realm. With Resident Evil, and now this.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always in a bayou.
It's a good point. It's a very good point. Yeah. So All right, let's get into how the gameplay works, right?
All right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Your home base is this bus, but
Yep.
just off the beaten path, there's a little skiff, a little raft that you can take out to 8 different areas of New Orleans.
So once you're there, what's neat about the game is they give you a lot of choice of how you're going to play this game. And I found myself being forced to play almost like Sam Fisher from Splinter Cell, where I had zero weapons. And so like if I died, this is where the demon souls aspect of the game comes in. So if you die, all of the stuff you collected in those zones remains with your corpse. And if you die before that, all the items and all the crap you gathered are gone. So at times, if I died, I found myself having to sneak across the entire map to try to get to my gear on purpose. Sometimes I wouldn't even look for weapons because I kind of wanted to sneak around. I don't know. And other times I was just shivving people or walkers in the back of the head or the
Or
wherever,
people.
or people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because your threats aren't just the walkers; they are certainly the people, and I found those to be the most aggressive of everything. Was just other non-infected humans.
For a while, for a long while, I was using the continue option. Anytime I died, I'd hit continue. Like you said, you'd see your backpack. Like there'd be like this silhouette of your backpack way in the
Yeah.
distance where you died, and you'd have to get there to and recover it before dying again, so that you get your stuff back.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I stopped doing that after the first hour because,
Oh, for real?
oh yeah, dude, because if you just hit the restart option instead of continue, you
Yeah.
just restart that level with everything that you had, and you get to try again. It's like saying, oh, it's with everything that you had when you got to the level,
Yep.
right? And very
Mm-hmm.
seldom did I go, yeah, there's something super important in my backpack. No, almost never. Like once in a great while, I was like, oh, I got the intel I needed, and it took me a
Yeah.
long time to do it. Now I just need to run in, grab it, and get back out.
Uh-huh.
But no, like 9 times out of 10, I'm just hitting the reset button. And it's like, just give me another chance, and I'll try to do it right this time.
I wish I did that. I always felt like I'm like, no, I died. Now I need to go retrieve the corpse. I just never restarted. I don't know why. I just picked up where I left,
Yeah,
and the tension increased. Um, but yes, so basically, you get to these zones. You have an objection. Where you might need to go and grab some item in some building in some zone, and the whole gameplay is to go gather resources because you're going to need to craft new weapons or new healing items or whatever it might be back at your hub or various little crafting stations and get the key component to what's going to progress the story forward.
right.
And then go back to your little school bus and initiate a new day. And every time you do that, though, supplies diminish and walkers increase. So every time you go back to your home base, that happens. So you're always balancing, what do I collect? What's worth it in my backpack? Because you have limited space. What is it you want to craft with the items you're gathering? Because you can track recipes,
Hmm.
so you know what to craft. And then there's that fine balance of once the backpack's full, of do you go back and drop everything off and then, start a new day with new walkers, more walkers, and less items? Or do you just toss some items while you're looking around to make sure you're not being spotted by a walker or a human?
Right. And so you're getting missions from 2 different places, right? So
Mm-hmm.
once you fix the radio in your new school bus home, you're talking to this guy named Casey, and he's telling you, he's giving you some ideas of like what to do. Go out and pick this thing up for me. We're gonna like go do this, go do that, and that's kind of like the core story mission. But then there's also this woman who's like leading a rebellion named
Yeah.
May Benoit, and you're interacting for the most part with her through through a tomb or a crypt or something in the graveyard, and then you pull out your little task journal book, whatever, right? Which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great. We're
Yeah.
gonna get into how great all these controls are in a second.
Oh,
But
yeah, yeah.
but man, just like putting the move controller to your chest and like hitting the trigger and pulling out your little notebook,
Yeah.
so convenient. So
Oh,
convenient.
yeah.
Because dude, I'm the kind of person that's like they tell you what to do and 2 seconds later I'm like, wait, what am I supposed to do? And it's
Right? In orientation, I'm like, where the fuck am I? Which way? Am I going left or right?
oh
I don't, and I got
seriously.
to look at the map constantly. Be like, oh, the arrow,
Yes,
you know?
dude, and just to be able to walk around the town with different places with the map out, with your journal out,
Yeah.
and just switch to the map page and see your little arrow walking around. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
I can never get lost again. I have no excuse. Like this is great.
And I love how it tracks you, where a lot of games you pull up the map and it might be just a static X to show you
Oh
where you're
god, it's
at.
terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know which way I'm facing. I don't know which way to go. I
Yeah.
don't know nothing. But man, you can just
Yep.
hold that thing out and watch yourself walk around town. So
Yeah.
convenient.
Yeah.
Custom designed for people like me with no sense of direction,
Oh, me too. Yeah.
right? So you're heading out and you're doing missions that are coming from two different people, but you also need to like scavenge, right? You need to scavenge for resources.
Yeah.
So multitasking, like doing story missions and scavenging at the same time, are super important because, like you said, fucking every day that passes, the game gets harder. More zombies
Yeah.
appear in the world. Sorry, more walkers appear in the world, and more and less resources.
Yeah.
So you could play this game like ad infinitum, right? Like you could hit day 100.
Mm-hmm.
But why would you want to do that, man? It's just going to get
Right.
harder and harder. So you kind of want to like knock this shit out as fast as possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that?
I wonder what that's like day 100.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
No. No, my problem is I don't take things. I don't rifle through games like that. You know, it's very Fallout-ish, where I almost wish Fallout had this much depth to it in a sense in VR, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, just because I like to search and gather everything. I'm like, oh, I could use that block of wood. Oh, I could use that, broken gun. It's like I want everything, you know?
Yeah, I was constantly waiting for a little line of text to pop up that says this, "You are encumbered." Right, you have too
Yeah.
much shit in your backpack. Because that's what I
Yeah.
do for like the first 5 minutes. You're in any section of the game. I'm walking around. I'm like, throw the wood in there. Throw the can in there. Throw the broken handgun in
Yeah.
there. And just like, because that again, the controls are great. You grab something,
Yeah.
you put it over your shoulder, and just drop it, and it automatically goes into your backpack.
Yeah.
Or you can pull out your backpack, and you can actually cycle through your inventory. This is, dude. I don't know. I don't know if you felt like this, but I felt like this is Shadow Legend
Yes.
all over again.
Precisely. Yes.
But
Especially even with the
even
climbing and stuff.
yes, but I think it's even better. Like something about it just feels more solid, and
Oh yeah.
just so much more you can do.
The word solid just reminded me this game had, unlike any other game prior, had the incredible ability to translate a sense of weight to your hands. Even though you're only holding move controllers,
Yeah.
it conveyed weight and like plunging a shiv into a walker's skull or a human skull, that like sometimes you can like shimmy off the, like the skull, like you don't penetrate, and sometimes you go in a little bit and it's not all the way and you're pushing further, and then when you're trying to pull it out, you feel that weight of it like being stuck in there. And even when you grab the battery and your hand just kind of drops down,
It's
it's really,
it feels
really
heavy.
neat.
Yeah.
Yes, it was incredible how they were making your brain trick just by motions of like, oh, the guy's hands dropped, to show this is heavier than when he grabs an antenna.
Yeah.
It's like not like, oh, I'm holding a car battery, because yeah, when you got one of those things, those fuckers are heavy.
Well, and the
So
crazy
it did a
thing,
great job.
the crazy thing is that like this, I feel like that would have pissed me off in almost any other game. Like if I had an aim controller, obviously this doesn't support the aim, but if I have an aim controller in a game and I do this with my heavy gun,
Yeah.
and it takes too long to get there because it's heavy,
Yeah.
I'd be irritated. I'd be like, no, it needs to be one to one. It needs to move all the time right with me. But this, it really translated the sense of weight really well.
Yeah.
And I wasn't irritated. I was like more impressed than anything.
Yes, it definitely added a sense of immersion. It just definitely helped to throw you into this world, and the tediousness of the backpack and selecting items and loading bullet to bullet to bullet on a revolver.
That
or
feels so good.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm the guy that gun nuts hate, right? Because gun nuts are like, man, in VR you need to manually reload. You can't just click a button. And I'm like, I don't know, man. I've been playing video games a long time. Square reloads. Like that's what I'm used to, right?
Yeah, me too.
But there was something about this where I hit the correct face button to open the chamber in the revolver. Again, I have no idea if these words are even accurate. And then I'm taking out individual bullets. I go, boom, 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 boom. There is literally somebody coming after me around the side of a car, and I'm trying to reload as fast as possible, and then I shake the gun and I'm ready. And then you can take your.
And you can drop bullets too, single bullets. You can drop them like I dropped
all over the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, and then you can take your other hand and steady your first hand, right?
Yeah.
To make sure that you're more accurate. Now, and of course, just FYI, whenever you have two move controllers that are close to each other, shit can get wonky. So what you do is you grab that hand, you steady it, and then you keep the trigger down, and you just move that hand away. It totally functions perfectly, and you can just use the other controller to move around. It's awesome. So it's a great workaround, and I really, really appreciate they did that. Also, we're talking about move controls right now. one of the best feelings in this game is when a zombie gets close to you, you just grab their head with your
Yeah.
free hand, and then you take
Yes.
you take that screwdriver or that shiv or that knife with the other hand and go. It
Yep.
makes you feel sadistic, but in
Oh,
the best possible way.
oh yeah, it was great, and it made me feel like I had time. Like here comes a walker, grab him, and he's like, ah, and I'm just holding him,
Yep.
like grab my shiv, boom. And at other times, I grab my revolver out, and that was a really odd feeling. Grabbing the revolver, holding the head, because I used to like try, and they'd approach me, and I'd be like, bang, bang, and I'd be missing.
Yeah.
Eventually, I just grabbed and took out my gun and went like, boom,
Right.
dropped them.
Yeah. Or if you're
I
running
try
low on
not to use the
stamina
gun
or
though.
anything else, you just take the head and you push him away, and he actually like
Yeah,
stumbles backwards, which is pretty cool, man.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool. Oh man, we have so much to talk about. I don't.
Oh my god, I know this game has so much to it.
Right. Where should we go next?
Let's controls.
Okay.
Let's talk about the
Yeah, we're
controls and
halfway
what
there. We might as well
what,
keep going with it.
right?
Yeah.
So first, it's like this game thought left or right hand oriented, so I was able to just make it so which was odd, I guess. I wanted the gun on my left, but when I put that I was left-handed, it still goes on. I was putting on the right and my shiv on my left because I wanted to be silent all the time
Yeah.
as much as possible. So, but it would still be awkward when my gun was over here because I'd have to shoot righty. One thing too with your coughing and your like lungs or whatnot and your stamina, those two are always going down too, in your health. And food, sometimes I would eat food like you would think wouldn't go bad, like a mint, and then you'd eat this mint and all of a sudden you're like, oh,
Yeah.
and you're like, fuck, what did I do?
Yeah. Like all food is bad for your health because
Yeah,
it's all spoiled, and
yeah.
but it's good for your stamina. And then
Hmm.
it's such this weird balancing act. You have to find pills. You have to find bandages. You have to find
Yeah.
food, and all of it.
Drinks.
It's just I honestly don't like the balancing act. I was like, you just give me like 5 meters to deal with instead of
Yeah,
having my stamina and my health adversely affect each other.
because I was always eating the wrong thing at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Whatever I needed was not what I consumed, and I'd be like, God damn it, I'm worse off than I was before eating it. And then in your mind, you're thinking, I got to find something. But I guess that's the beauty of this game, to make you feel frantic,
Yeah.
because you would, in a frantic moment, consume something that would damage you and not do what you thought it was supposed to do. And then you'd need to go and find, while you're also avoiding and then hunting down what it is you're supposed to be hunting down. And then you always want to explore areas that are not really your target,
Right.
So I'm always in some, area, backyard, or a building that might not be significant to the moment. And I see items and I'm like, I got to come back for this thing. I want this,
Dude, at a certain point, I turned off my HUD. I was like, I don't want to see my health bar. I don't want to see my stamina bar. I don't want to see this shit anymore, because I was sick all the time. I was coughing all the time, and and I guess we should probably talk about crafting. Until I upgraded my health station to the point where I could craft clean bandages and craft medicine and all the stuff that would take care of you all the time. I was just sick until then. And I was like,
yeah.
I was like, so I stopped eating food. I stopped
Yeah.
worrying about my stamina, which, by the way, like, I mean, holy crap, dude! Like, you can't run for more than like 5 seconds in this game,
No. Yeah. You lose it quick.
right? And
Yeah.
so which when we did, oh, man, again, so much to talk about
Yeah.
when you're exploring these areas in the Tower Bells ring.
Yeah.
How terrifying is that? Because the Tower Bells signify that like the day is over, and
Yeah.
and when the sun goes down, the hordes of zombies come out, and so
Hmm.
it is super dangerous to be anywhere at
Wicked.
night. So the Tower Bells ring while you're exploring, and you're like,
Yeah.
I gotta get the fuck out of here. And so, and when you're trying to run back to your skiff to like make it out with everything that you've got, you're pushing zombies out of the way and using stamina and trying to run but not run too much. And if you got two-handed weapons like a big bat with the nails in it and stuff, you're swinging them at the zombies, and that's using stamina.
Yeah.
And then by the end, you're just like you're walking like you're practically a zombie yourself. Oh, it's so stressful.
And you get that like poof, poof all around you too as your stamina's gone, like that peripheral look like you really do in real life when your heart's really pounding. And it just makes it, they're all coming everywhere, and the music just amps up because there's like
Oh, that
musical
music.
cues.
That
Yeah.
music is incredible.
Yeah.
It feels like it's
It
straight
adds-
out of a zombie movie.
Yeah. A Walker show.
Hmm.
It adds just the right amount of tension to make it be like, I'm fucked. I am fucked.
Yeah.
I remember there was a time where it was just the bells and and everything out, and I pushed my limits, and I was like, I'm screwed. I'm never going to make it back. And there was just walkers everywhere. I'm trying to run. I'm trying to push them off, and I died. But yeah, it was incredible, that whole feeling of feeling like you're surrounded by walkers, and people always like, oh, I want a zombie apocalypse. Well, play this and then tell me. Yeah,
Right, right.
because I don't know if I want to deal with that in real life. There's a lot of shit to worry about.
Yeah.
You know.
No, and one of the biggest things you got to worry about in this game is crafting and finding
Yeah.
supplies to craft the things that you need or the things that you want. In the 3 crafting tables, you have to upgrade them separately, right?
Yeah.
And you upgrade them in order, which is really strange
It
because
isn't. Yeah.
you're like, oh man, I need to upgrade this table 7 times to finally get the thing that I need, or finally have access to the thing that I need.
Yeah.
And so you're constantly in the back of your brain going, I need to find things with sugar in them so I can do this, or I need to find things with protein, or I need to find things with nuts and bolts, or whatever the hell, right?
Hmm.
But man, how great is it once you upgrade those tables?
Oh, it's awesome. It makes it so that's like your skill tree, if you will, like in
Absolutely.
an RPG, where you see what you want, but you got to get all these skills, and there might be some in there you don't even want before you get to this. So because there were some criticisms to the. It's not a perfect game, but it's a great game. But there were times where I was hoping, my accuracy could improve or stuff like that. But I like how, when you're shooting, but
Yeah.
I like how you don't get that as like a skill or a learn up thing. It's like you're here, you're this person. If I was in that situation, would my aim increase? You know what I mean? Like that? No, I mean it translates pretty well with that. So I like how they keep you on course, on track. They give you enough to think about. So they lay out these crafting things in order for you. So it's like here, 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 and that's that.
Talk to me about some criticisms, man, because before we wrap this thing up, I want to hear what you didn't like about this game.
Well, sometimes I would have issues with tracking, like simple stuff, nothing major,
Okay.
where my hand would drift off, or the utility belt-ish look to when you look down, because that's the other thing that's pretty great with this game is they give you these like little white dots. Down when you look at it, these white dots expand to these like perforated looking circles that you could just like grab the trigger and it would come right to you. So you could read something or grab an item as you're kind of walking. You don't have to just stop and crouch down and grab it. But oftentimes those things would get overlaid with my own utility belt type of items. So if I was trying to grab something that was here, it was thinking I was grabbing my gun or even my flashlight.
Interesting.
Like so little things like that. Nothing major.
How bad were the load times for you?
That was the other criticism.
Yeah,
But they were, I mean, of course, when you went to the zones, they were, God, they might have been 30 seconds.
they were long. They were absolutely long. I would take off my headset, go grab some more coffee, come back, and the loading screen was almost over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have things popping in too, like dumpsters. I would be walking and then all of a sudden right next to me, dumpster would pop up. I'm like, oh, that was late.
That's an OG thing. That's an OG PS4 thing because I will tell you on the PS4 Pro, this game
Hmm.
looks beautiful, but there's a ton of texture pop in. Like when you first get into a level, everything is
Yeah.
like very bland for the first few
Yeah.
seconds, and then it's like boop, 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 populates with textures. And I was like, oh, this place looks great now.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so it sounds like the OG PS4 suffers a bit more than the Pro does.
Wicked. It was funny. I was laughing to myself as I was playing the game because we as humans, we get amazed by putting on this headset and entering a world that's way less visually stunning than the world we're living in, and we're like, wow. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But yeah, it really looks good. They give it it's not like an overly realistic look. They definitely make it, I don't want to say cartoonish because it's not that, but they give you that sense of it's a video game, but they also put enough detail in it to make it immersive,
right, right. Yeah, no, it's a nice line gets drawn
Hmm.
because it definitely has this almost cartoon, not cartoon, like comic book aesthetic.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like they were blending like if it wasn't for the other characters, the NPCs and whatever,
Hmm.
uh, I would be like, man, this game looks fairly realistic. But then you run into another character and it's like very cartoony. It's almost a Telltale Walking Dead.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I think the mixing of those two, where the environments look pretty realistic, and then the characters look a little bit more comic booky, it has a good aesthetic.
for sure,
You know.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right, man. What do you say? What do you say we rate this sucker?
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, what's our rating scale?
All right. One is you got to buy this thing. Absolutely must have in your library. I mean, if the world ends, you will take this game with you in the hopes that one day electricity and the world will be restored and you can play it again. That's how much you want
I
this thing.
like that. That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Two is it's pretty good. You know, if the world ends, you might want to leave it behind because it was all right, but not one that not your family photos that you love forever, but definitely worth it. So maybe wait for a sale, and or put it on your Christmas list. Three was don't bother. It's terrible. It's shit. It's a crafting item you don't even want. Just leave it and run.
Yeah.
And Brian, what do you rate this sucker?
I mean, this game is not without its faults, right? There are issues. We complain about something like the load times, and I'm like, okay, well that's cool, but the times, the amount of time you're spending between load times
Yeah.
is so long that I'm like, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Uh, and then like texture pop in, I'm like, dude, this game is one of the best looking games on PlayStation 4. It's like, or PSVR, I should say. That
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm not going to complain about texture pop in because once it boom 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 boom, boom pops in, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
I've got some issues with the story. I don't think the story was delivered all that well. I think that a lot of times you're just standing there listening to somebody talk or listening to Casey on the radio, which is super boring because
Yeah.
you're looking at a radio with a stupid little bobblehead on top of it of a jester. You're like, oh
Yeah. Yeah.
man, you can't even walk over to your chest and start scrapping things while he's talking because it cuts off the conversation. And you're like, oh well, I can't even do stuff while I'm
Yeah.
standing here looking at this radio. So there's small issues like that. I still gave this game a 10 out of 10 because I think the experience of playing it was so incredible and just so much fun and endlessly replayable. Because once the game's over, man, like I spent 15 hours getting to the end, and I've spent countless hours after that just playing and seeing how long I can survive, and still listening to the radio and listening for where the different drops are and where different factions are raiding and stuff. You can just keep playing forever, and I love that about this game. So this is for me absolutely a one. What
Nice.
about you?
Now, for me, I found, yes, with like you, it's got its faults. You know, like the load screens, while they were boring, while you're sitting there waiting, I accepted them because of the fact, like you, once the screen and the game loads, there's so much in there. There's so much it's loading. I mean, all the random items that you can collect along the way,
Mhm.
and then just all the walkers and then the humans in there. There's a lot, and you will be in there for quite a while, even though the maps are not big. You will be in those goddamn maps for a very long
You're
time.
right; they're not big.
No, I mean they'll some of them like this, and it's like you're here, you need to get here, and there's one road, but you could be in there for an hour and a half. There's so much happening. I thought it was great how you could vault over shit. I didn't expect that in this game for some reason. Climbing things, I didn't expect that.
Mm,
I loved the feel. They conveyed weight and like durability in such a way that I just found it awesome. Like if I saw a room that had some boards in front of it, I wanted to find something and break those boards
for
down. And they
sure.
all have a different feel. So like the crowbar hitting shit has a different feel than the axe, you know?
Right.
And I just don't know how they did all that. They did a great job with that stuff. And the gameplay was great. I liked how, when you're dealing with humans, you need to have weapons like guns. When you're dealing with the walkers, melee weapons work great. I like how they balanced your running, your sneaking, your stamina. It made you just constantly wary and like second nature of I can't run too far. I got to slow down and walk. Now I got to crawl. I got to, I don't know. There was just so much to it. There was such, like you said, there's the main story isn't the whole game. There's so much more that's involved with that main story. So the replayability, the price point just is totally justified.
Right.
Uh, the way everything is right there and how it works so well to just grab an item, grab your backpack, bows and arrows, upgrading stuff. I thought it was great. Now, when it comes to how did I want to rate this thing, you know, am I a zombie guy or a walker guy? No, you know, and therefore do I want to say this is a 2 because of that? No, I absolutely think this game is amazing. I think it's awesome. I definitely think it's well worth everybody's library. It's a 1. You get so much time in this game and it does so many things correctly, and there's no real end. You can keep going, and the story being, you know, intriguing in a sense. It definitely was flawed, but there was some good elements behind it.
Right.
You know, whether it was translated well onto, you know, the game as opposed to the paper when they were writing it, who knows? But it was such a small portion of it. The collecting and the survival is the main story, and so I thought it was great. I thought it was well worth the money, and I give this one a 1.
You know, and the funny thing is we've talked about like all the human pet characters you come in contact with. You know, some of them are friendly, some of them aren't, some of them are this faction or that faction, whatever. But man, you can kill anybody you want,
Yeah.
and then, but you got to get out of there because if the next time you turn around, they're going to be a zombie, and then you got to kill them again. Which is the funniest thing. The first time that happened to me, I was like, "You look familiar." Oh wait, I just killed you now,
Killed you.
and you're back seeking vengeance. Absolutely
Twice.
insane.
Get killed twice. Yeah.
Yeah, no, fantastic game. I can't wait. This was absolutely worth taking a break from our normal routine. I know we did Separation last week. We did Saints and Sinners this week. As of next week, we'll be back to our regular scheduled mission of hunting down all the crap and all the hidden gems on the PlayStation VR that no one's talked about in years.
Yeah.
But I think that does it, right? I think we're
I think so.
all right. Well, then, for another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR, my name's Brian Paul,
And I'm Jeremy King.
and we'll see you
Next week.
I just let you do it.